I have so many words that come out. It's just one word: evil. They're demonic. Period. That's all it is. They know what they were doing, and they were doing it for their purpose, not just financial. Some type of evil ritual they're doing.
Bingo.
That's how I see it. It's not just about money. You know, they're doing this. It was planned. I mean, we know the gates of hell have been opened. You know, it says in Revelations right there, the rapture's already been in process right now. God's taking his children up, and the rest of us are here to suffer. And the gates of, in the Bible it says the gates of hell will be open and demons will be released. They are released. They're in D.C. They're in control of our country. They have taken human form. Don't look for some monster, some demonic-looking animal, whatever. No, they are up there already. Like I said, they've taken human form. They are after our children. What's the first thing a demon will do? They want your children.
They hurt too many people, and they hurt the wrong people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the people that will speak out for humanity, that will not cower. Because I was told not to speak out. What about your career? You know what? Keep my career. I don't want to go back to Hollywood. They're weird. None of my agents are calling me anymore. You know, I don't talk to most of my bandmates at all anymore. We've kind of separated ways anyway. But it is career suicide. You're probably not going to be able to work again if you speak against this, because a lot of shows are brought to you by Big Pharma. I mean, look at the Grammys, brought to you by Pfizer. For me as a human being and as a mother, there's no way I could ever be a part of anything that's brought to you by Pfizer, because I really believe that Pfizer has blood on their hands, and it's devastating. And until you look into the eyes of Ernest and you see the grieving, the grieving eyes that he'll never have a son, even if he's laughing, if I make a joke or something, you still see his eyes. You know, you still see he's just like empty. You know, and there's so many more people, and I just think that this is just horrible.
Why did you and the Biden administration mislead the American people?
You'd have to say more. Wouldn't claim
March
that
29, 2021, vaccinated people do not carry the virus. Vaccinated people don't get sick. We got that information from clinical trials, but also real-world data. It seems to me there are a number of statements you make in there that aren't accurate. Do vaccinated people carry the virus?
In March of 2021, the vast majority of data demonstrated that the vast majority of people were not getting infected if they were vaccinated.
That's not what you said. You didn't say the vast majority of people. You said vaccinated people do not carry the virus. Was that accurate?
It was generally accurate.
Generally accurate. Why not just be accurate? Why not just tell the American people the truth? Why don't you say to the American people just what you said to me? We're big boys and girls. We pay your salary. The government is supposed to be of the people, by the people, for the people. Why not just tell us the truth?
I was speaking.
Was 6 weeks later when you said if you were to get infected during post-vaccination, you can't give it to anyone else. Was that accurate?
What was the date of that?
May 19, 2021.
At the time we had the Wuhan strain and then the Alpha strain. That was the Alpha strain that was circulating. That was generally true, yeah.
Generally true again? Why not again? Why not tell the American people this is generally true?
I couldn't tell you the exact data on the vaccine effectiveness of symptomatic disease and severe disease at the time. What I can tell you is that we generally saw that if you were to get infected after you had been vaccinated, that you were not carrying the virus by transmitting it to somebody else. You could not transmit it to others.
But we know that's not accurate.
It was at the time. Now, what happened? Yes, in May of 2021. That was true for the Alpha variant. What happened?
Let me ask you about all the generals.
This has also been ignored. The amount of miscarriages and stillbirths that increased drastically due to your advice to get vaccinated. Pregnant women again, not people. And then we could go on and on about the tragic stories of myocarditis and many other things. But my question for you today, Dr. Walensky, is now that you're going to be leaving the CDC pretty soon, what job are you going to take? Are you going to be on the board of either Pfizer or Moderna? Because you've done one hell of a job at making sure that they've made a lot of money. And I yield back.
Thank you for that question. Maybe first I will comment that CDC is not responsible for the purchase of vaccines, so I can't speak to all of the economics that you spoke to. I will do want to talk a minute about the vaccine adverse event reporting system. So that system is intended for any person who has gotten a vaccine, if they have an untoward event after that vaccine, whether or not is related to the vaccine, they report. It is intended to have an over-reporting. All of the not all, most of the vaccines that were being given, I remember we gave 676 million doses of the vaccine. Any adverse event, if you got hit by a truck after you got your vaccine, that was reported to the vaccine adverse event reporting system. We at CDC have a responsibility to comb through every single one of them, to review the medical charts and to see if they are related. It is the case that the vaccine doesn't prevent being hit.
Ms. Walensky, I'll reclaim my time. You did nothing about that and continue to push vaccines. That's what the American people care about.
We review all of the things that come into the vaccine adverse event reporting system. I'd be happy to have our staff educate your staff on the work.
I don't want my staff educated. You should educate the American people about what you've done of 1.5 million reports, because they feel like you've done nothing and continue to say safe and effective.
Maybe I will just close by saying I don't have plans after I step down. Thank you.
They all revolving door into Big Pharma. Jessica Sutta, former lead singer with a very popular Pussycat Dolls, joins us. She took the shot. She got serious repercussions from it. And Ernest Ramirez, I ran into them both at the premiere of a very important film exposing all this, Mickey Willis's The Great Awakening. And I asked them to come on the show. They are coming on today. Ernest is going to be joining us a little bit later here in the hour. But I wanted to play some of those congressional clips there. And, of course, now more studies have come out that they knew it never was going to work. They knew it was going to cause blood clots. They knew it was going to cause medical problems. But I wanted you to actually talk to somebody who was damaged, who is a popular person in music and, you know, the same thing as Hollywood, who is willing to tell the truth. Because I've talked to a major talk show host who's talked to Jamie Foxx's people. And I know Mike Tyson had been on his show. Mike Tyson talked to him and said, no, it was a shot. But Jamie, who reportedly has trouble walking and trouble talking and is in a rehab at a hospital, hasn't decided to come out against the shot yet, even though he met with Dr. Peter McCullough a year ago and said they're trying to make me take it. Can I have info to try to stop them? We know Ice Cube turned down $9 million for his last movie. We know the White House is still trying to make people have shot records or masks to go to the White House. So they claim that they've backed off. They haven't backed off. Jessica Sutta is our guest on Instagram. I am Jessica Sutta, S-U-T-T-A. On Twitter, J Sutta, S-U-T-T-A. And Jessica, thank you so much for joining us. When I saw you and Ernest at the premiere, I shook your hand, said hi, said, please come on. But I had to get away because I've had Ernest in studio before talking about his son, seeing the photos. And sometimes I get emotionally overcome because I have 4 children, including a 6-year-old daughter. And so I have empathy. I can't imagine what he went through, his son dying days after, what was it, the Pfizer shot. But to know they knew and they still did this, it's just a nightmare. But then it goes even further to be somebody actually damaged by it like you've been. So I appreciate your courage, because they come after you, I know, to tell your testimony. So hopefully other people, before they take this, can be warned. We can stop more people being maimed and killed. And we know they want to bring out new pandemics. They want to bring out new shots, more control. So, Jessica, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much for having me. And, you know, the last 2 years after I got my first shot, my life has just not been the same. And Ernest is one of my best friends now. And he really gives me the passion, the drive to fight against this horrible jab, this horrible crime against humanity. No parent should ever bury their child. And, you know, it's just, it's unbelievable. And all these new facts are coming out that this is patented in 1990. I mean, there's all these facts. They didn't just come up with this vaccine. This was a plan set in place. And it's terrifying, and it is so disturbing. And I regret every day that I went to CVS, but I was trusting the government. I was trusting mass media. Dumb on me. And now I don't trust anyone. So. Well,
you know the saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Ernest did nothing wrong. I know he's racked by guilt. You did nothing wrong. You're being told, safe and effective. It's great. Get things back to normal. Have courage. Save other lives. Don't let the hospitals get overwhelmed. Go get the shots. You're like, okay, but the social contract's been broken. The companies had liability protection deals already signed as part of a larger plan. It's definitely backfired on them. I want to talk about that, but describe for us where you were in your career, what was going on, why, what you were seeing, why you went and took the shot, and then what happened to you.
So in 2019, we were supposed to go on a worldwide tour. We were set to go. I was in London, and then the COVID lockdowns happened, and we were sent home. During that time, I got pregnant with my son, MJ, and it was the most beautiful experience, even though I was scared to death, because I was scared to death of COVID. You have to remember the news stations showing the count death and all of these things adding up. It was terrifying.
This was Pentagon-run psychological warfare experts, they'd be classified, trying to, quote, terrify the public. So you and everybody else were victims of mind control.
Right. And I know that now, and then I guess it was about 32 weeks pregnant, my OB wanted me to get the COVID shot while I was pregnant.
Wow.
And I was at a place where I love my doctor, respect my doctor. She's smarter than me. She's a doctor, and I actually contemplated it, even though I'm not allowed to eat deli meat or sushi, but we can do this experimental, drug on a pregnant woman. And when I got home, my husband said, absolutely not. We've talked about this. You don't want to do that. You know that. But I'm such a people pleaser. And they always pull at my heartstrings. The baby's going to be immune to COVID, and it was so brand new, right? And if I would have gotten that shot pregnant and had this reaction, I would have lost my son. And I can't even think the thought. And I have so much resentment towards my OB. And I truly believe that the OBs that did this on their patients, and they made money, by the way, Alex, I'm sure you know this. She was about to make $300 off that. Not knowing the side effects, just like kind of trusting whatever she's being told.
And you were about to be Ernest Ramirez. You were about to lose your child because this doctor is just following orders. They know with all the shots in the past, there's a huge fact sheet inside each ampule. It was blank because they wouldn't tell them. So this is amazing. So for those that don't know, go back to what this doctor was telling you, what was happening, because for listeners that don't know, they have a New England Medical Journal report and a bunch of other studies that 80+% of first and second trimester women that took these Pfizer Moderna shots had miscarriages, something like 24% third trimester. So this is a literal, not morning after pill. This is a biological chemical abortion shot. And so thank God your instincts kicked in, or you would be where poor Ernest Ramirez is. We'll be talking to her in a moment. Who again, all of us are being bombarded by this, and all of us are victims of it. But start over and flesh that out.
With the OB,
yes.
Yeah, she wanted to do it at 32 weeks, and thank God I said no. Thank God my husband said no. Because I do have a lot of friends that got the shot, and almost everyone went into preterm labor. They had their child 2 months before, a month before they're supposed to be delivered, preemies. This is so dangerous and so disturbing, and I truly believe a lot of doctors need to stop being doctors, and we need a whole new system in place, and we need to take Big Pharma out. So.
Absolutely. And I always have a lot to add because I have 4 children, but I haven't almost had my child killed by them, and I haven't had my child killed by them. So I want to, throughout the hour, I'm skipping this break. You guys want to say something, get it out there. I want to bring Ernest Ramirez in here, who's at work right now. He wanted to just have you on today, and you're an amazing lady, but I wanted to have him on as well, just because of your friendship and how close you guys have come to each other. But before we go to Ernest here, please continue, Jessica, with just other incredible things you want to tell viewers that they need to understand.
I really want to speak out to the injured community, because there's a lot of us, and a lot of people are being hidden and being gaslit to think it's some other, stiff person syndrome situation, some weird alias that they're covering these injuries with. React19.org. Please join us. You can see a list of doctors' protocols from frontline COVID critical care doctors who are my absolute heroes. We are living in a crisis right now with vaccine injury. It is way worse than you could ever imagine. I have a tremor now. My life has completely been destroyed. 3 days after the shot, I woke up with a muscle spasm that didn't come out for months. I went to the hospital thinking it was an organ, something, because I couldn't get the muscle out. of the contraction. And I told the hospital I had gotten the vaccine, but they didn't even correlate it. So a week later, I got the second. So I got the 2 set of shots. So I have neurological damage. I have a tremor. I have burning in my ribcage every day. I have some days that are good. And then today I already feel like I need to lay in bed all day. So what I want to tell the public is please, please, please join us, react19.org. We love you. Your voice matters. We have your back. I think it's very, very important to join fellowship. Fellowship is the most important in this journey. You have to be around like-minded people, because you have to remember, people, when you tell people these things, they think you're a conspiracy theorist. They think that you're making it up, whatever the case may be, because what they believe is what they see on the news, and they think that's the truth. But unfortunately, we have been lied to, and people are suffering. And if you can find it in your heart to donate to react19.org, the money will really make a big difference in people's lives, because people's lives have been shattered. They've lost jobs. Single parents with 2 kids can't do anything for their kids. I mean, it's a really, really bad time right now.
No, I totally agree. And let me just say, I know about that organization. They are absolutely kicking butt. And what is beautiful, the silver lining on this very dark cloud is, there's been a lot of medical tyranny going on for a long time. I mean, Tuskegee experiments on black people with syphilis, that was 50 years ago. But it's getting worse and worse and worse. And now we're admitting that some of the worst elements out there have invaded the medical system and are using us like guinea pigs. And so it's beginning to come out. But you guys have been vindicated. They admit in all these studies now that the shots don't work and cause myocarditis and heart attacks and strokes. They admit it destroys your immune system. They're admitting all this. So for some of the public out there that still goes conspiracy theorists, you guys have been vindicated. Let me ask Ernest Ramirez this. Getting to know Jessica, going through this saga, most people know who you are, Ernest, but just recapping about your son. I know you're on your lunch break, working hard out there. But what you went through, and then just give us an update on what's happened since we talked to you 6 months ago or so, and how does it affect you to see all these documents and studies that the government and Big Pharma knew before they ever rolled this out, this was going to happen. So we now know this was deliberate. How is that affecting you? Because just from an empathy perspective, I'm extremely angry and have trouble controlling myself. And I can't imagine losing your beautiful son, how you're dealing with. I know you're fighting back, you're saving lives, you're crisscrossing the country. It's beautiful, but just that whole process, what's that like?
Well, it's hard, Alex, to get up every morning knowing that my son's not here. But like I said, I do it for a purpose. I believe it's to try to protect others. I am getting tired because I'm still getting calls and information from people begging for help. And people are not waking up fast enough. They need to realize we are not lying. I got lucky to meet Jessica. Like I said, I was on the verge of just giving up because I don't feel like I'm doing enough. And, it's hard. I go through this every day, waking up to an empty house. But then I feel my son wanted me to fight for him and for the other children, because nobody's doing that. When I met Jessie, she just, she helped me. She proved that there are people out there that are standing up. Unfortunately, it's a lot of women. We need these men to stand up. They need to grow up hair. They need to take off them dresses and grow up hair so they can get up here and fight with us. Don't just let the women do this. And like I said, I've been invited all over the U.S., like you said. It's hard because I do have to work. Bills don't stop. They don't care that I lost a child. They just want their money, and that's the way I feel the government is also,
I understand. So let's talk about your beautiful son. And so you've saved, because we broke their back. They were still trying to force the shots. They're still trying, but we've backed them off. And I think a lot of that is your testimony and Jessica's testimony. Describe what happened to your son for people that don't know, as a warning to everybody, not just about this poison rollout, but the new ones are getting ready. And then Jessica, you're welcome to come in anytime. You guys are close friends and interview Ernest here.
But
Hey, Ernest.
they're still lying to us. They're still lying to everyone because I believe their lies. You know, being a single parent, I thought it was protecting my son, you know, and I thought it was for the great purpose of humanity. You know, we're trying to take care of one another. So I took him to get vaccinated. After I took mine, I took him to get vaccinated. He was willing. 5 days later, he went to the park with his friend and his mother. His friend's mother picked him up, took him to eat, to play basketball. He said they got off the truck and took off running, and he collapsed. Like we've seen so many videos of people just dropping all of a sudden. They worked on him. Like I said, the hospitals didn't care when I got there. They acted like, well, you know, it was nothing. It was just another day to them. And
that's because suddenly it is just another day. This is happening by the millions. So sorry.
Yeah, they just told me that, you know, I could go home, that my son was dead. And, you know, like I said, like I meant nothing to them. They didn't realize that my world ended. My whole world was destroyed. I mean, I figured at least, you know, Biden could have gave me condolences. Even our governor could have called, returned my call, and gave condolences. Not even that. So all they did was anger me, and they made me stand up. They're the ones that put me in this position, and I'm going to be a thorn in their side till all this comes to an end.
Well, but thanks to you and others, it is. And here's the thing. There are millions of parents around the world that have lost their children in these shots. We know that from the numbers. And most of them just are afraid. And so you're an example going public. That's why this is so important. And you're right here in Austin, Texas. And it's just, what is it like, Ernest, and also Jessica, though? The good news is you've been vindicated. It's coming out that they knew that this didn't work and it caused heart attacks and myocarditis. And so, I mean, we're not about vengeance here. That's God's, but we need justice. What would you like to see happen to Fauci and people like that?
Ernest, you want to take this?
Yeah. Like I said, yeah, that's God's job right there. What they need to do is strip them of all their finances, everything, and give it to the injured to help them and to be convicted. No special treatment, nothing. Go to general population and suffer, and take, you know, the rest of their life, what little life they have left, to what they've done to our world, not just our nation. It's a worldwide issue. How they've injured and killed people, and they've gotten away with it. They need to pay here, not just in front of the good Lord. They need to pay here. They need to suffer here. Like I said, I don't wish death on them. That's too easy. They need to be punished to 100%. They need to suffer and think of what they've done to us.
100%. And I think, you know, what I've noticed is that the shot is still on the market. I was at CVS the other day waiting in line for something, and this guy was like taking himself to get a booster, and I wanted to scream and just grab him and say, no, don't do this. It's weak. That every booster weakens the immune system. Okay. If you have cancer, it could cause turbo cancer. It is, the spike protein in the mRNA is so dangerous that it's unbelievable that this was injected into a human person, period. You know, and the fact that they knew all about this all along, this has been a plan, and we have just been tricked. And also the mass media still doesn't understand the severity of this and won't even listen to some of the things I have to say, you know, especially in Hollywood. They're just like sleepwalkers, I call them, you know. It's just, it's like, wake up.
Jessica Sutta, stay right there. I want to talk about, with you when we come back, what we need to do. Absolutely, and where you see all this going. And Ernest Ramirez, this is so important, ladies and gentlemen, not just for the victims, not just for the dead and dying, but what they want to do to more of us, as she just said. We'll be right back with both our special guests on this live Wednesday, June 14th broadcast. the short time we have, I can't get into all the incredible ingredients in Super Female Vitality. Go to InfoWarsStore.com, read about the ingredients, look them up for yourself, and then understand this is cold-pressed herbs, so it has a more powerful effect on the body. Get yours today at InfoWarsStore.com for 50% off. Super Male Vitality is selling out. It's an incredible formula for stamina, energy, libido. Only a few hundred bottles left. But the good news is we have several thousand bottles left of Super Female Vitality. That's the same formula. It boosts men. It boosts women. It works great. But women like pink labels. Men like different color labels. So it works for men as well. It's the same formula. It's an incredible formula, and it funds our operation. And here's another important part of the overall information. It's 50% off for a limited time. So get your Super Female Vitality for men and women at InfoWarsStore.com right now for 50% off, and it funds the InfoWar. Super Female Vitality, 50% off for a limited time at InfoWarsStore.com. All right, I've been asking a lot of questions, and I think I just need to get out of the way here and let Jessica Sutta and, of course, Ernest Ramirez, both victims of the big pharma takeover of our bodies. We had top scientists, former chief scientists at Pfizer come out, Michael Yeadon, months before the shots began and said it would cause myocarditis, blood clots, heart attacks. He knew that they'd done previous studies on rats with similar injections. And he says it's part of a global depopulation program. I want to ask Ernest Ramirez, who I know is at work, a hardworking man there with a telephone company, to make any other comments or points he'd like to make, and let him maybe get some time for lunch and get back to work. And then I want to just ask Jessica Sutta for the rest of the hour, who's a smart lady, to give her big picture on this and where she thinks this is going. But boy, did she dodge a bullet, not letting him give her a shot when she was pregnant. And then obviously she took the injection, had major problems. We can comment on Jamie Foxx. I mean, there's so many angles of this, but instead of me asking questions, let me just give you guys the floor, and I'm going to sit back and listen. Ernest, you got the floor for 5 minutes, 10, whatever you want to say to the public.
Well, the main thing is just to protect themselves, protect your babies, your family, your grandchildren. This is very important. They're trying to take over our world. You already know they ripped God out of D.C. and our school. We need to teach our children how to read the Bible, not how to put on dresses. If they're little boys, they're little girls, they're girls. This is going all across the board. We need to protect them. We need to raise them right. Like I said, these animals, I guess, men wanting to wear dresses is not right. They're supposed to be taking care of their families, taking care of the children. And no, the dresses are for the mothers, for the women. And I just want to remind everyone, too, we have events that we will be at. I thank the good Lord put Jessica in my path because, I figure we can do more together than what we can do apart. So we'll be having an event in Conroe, Texas. We'll be at on July 22nd, Gainesville, Florida, August 5th. And, like I said, the dynamic duel. Both of us, we're going to fight back as much as we can for as long as we can. I love her. I got to give respects to her husband for allowing her to fight this fight because he supports her rather than keeping her locked up and telling her to stay quiet. I appreciate that, man.
Well, we heard from her earlier that he was the one that said, no, sweetheart, because she was doing like you. She's like, I want to help society. I want to protect people. And he was the one that's like, no, don't do that.
No, but he's allowing her to, speak her piece, to fight back this fight. And like she was mentioning, funds are low on React 19. I don't benefit out of it. No one does, except the vaccine injured. Not just react19.org. You can also text the word REACT, REACT, to 50155. $5, $10, $20. You can't even buy a decent lunch with $20.
No, it takes money to win a war. That's what I keep telling listeners. And we're so close to overturning the enemy. We are so close to victory, but we need the listeners to understand this is a full effort.
Yes, sir, sure. Exactly. And we have to bring our people back to a somewhat normal lifestyle. They shouldn't have to live this way. When the government dropped the ball and they're not helping them, we need to at least help
Did you see where Biden's trying to bring mandates back and masks back and having to have shots? I mean,
yes, sir. He doesn't even know how to change his diapers. Why is he trying to get us to get another jab? No.
Let me put that in the lower third, because, folks, every guest we have on that we say donate to, we mean to do it. But you could not do it at a more important place. These guys are crisscrossing the country, saving so many lives, going on radio, going on TV, doing a lot of interviews. When I saw them at this big event, there were dozens of 50 cameras, radio stations, and they probably reached millions just 2 Saturdays ago when I was with them, and so did we. And we just can't give up. We got to keep fighting. The enemy's trying to break our will. So Jessica and Ernest, we'll put a lower third up. Again, how do people support the work you guys are doing?
So you can go to react19.org, join the website, join the fellowship, group chats, connect with the community. There's so much you can do. I think one of the things is spreading the awareness of vaccine injury, because we are in a crisis, and if people don't get the attention that they need, the help, the medical help, the financial help, people are not going to make it. I'm going to tell you this. This week, I've had 3 messages of someone who's already done assisted suicide and 2 people asking for assisted suicide. I understand their pain so much, but what my main thing is to speak out is just to say, please don't give up. Don't give up. People can recover. We have the science, we have the doctors, we have the people behind us now, the real science, not the Fauci science. That's the BS science. This is the real stuff that is going to heal us, and I know people can recover. I just, it really shatters my heart, because I know the pain. I've stared at the ceiling when the neuropathy was going through my rib cage and my spine, and my whole brain is taken over. It does feel like you're dying. You can't see the light. But for me, joining the fellowship and meeting Ernest especially, like, he's become one of my best friends in the whole world. We talk every single day. I saw videos of him before I came into the fellowship, and I didn't understand the severity, because I thought maybe it wasn't that many, right? But when I stepped into the world, there are so many people suffering and so many grieving parents, and we got to stop this. We just have to stop this for humanity. This is just not fair. It's not fair. And
well, we have the insurance company numbers. Every country that gave the shot has a 42 to 48%. The average is like 45 increase in death. World War II wasn't a 10% increase. World War I wasn't. I mean, this is bigger than World War II numbers of deaths every year. I mean, but we know there's been almost 300 sporting deaths of people having heart attacks in soccer and other games. And 200 something a year. It used to be like 1 a year. Remember, like, one guy would have a heart attack who was young, and everybody wondered why it was. It was usually cocaine or something. Now hundreds of deaths. I mean, it's just, and listen, everybody in this office has family or others that have died from the shots. People get mad around the office when I say names, so I'm going to leave it this. In my personal life, I have 2 assistants, okay? Because I'm a busy guy. Both of them, one of them had a person close die. The other's boyfriend took the shot, because he was, by the way, an exercise guy, 25 years old, myocarditis, passes out all the time, having heart attacks. He'll be dead soon. I mean, literally, this is in my own life. I have 2 assistants. Both of them have people sick and dying and dead around them. I mean, this is insane.
Same. I have a family member who lost her hearing. Okay, my mom just had an aneurysm, which is a side effect of the shot. It's all happening, and it's being hidden under other medical terms. Well, what's the common denominator in the last 2.5 years? Wake up, you guys. It's wild. I've had conversations with people like, can you believe how many people are dying on the football field? And the response I get because I get it from the news, football is a really strenuous sport. It's just, they're really, what? Wake up, you guys. This is unreal.
And there's suddenly ads on the sides of buses. It's normal to have heart attacks when you're a child. No, it's not.
What? No, it's not. It's not normal. None of this is normal. So, yeah.
Let me ask you both this. And Ernest, I know you're at work, out there working your ass off in 100-degree heat here in Austin. That's why you're working 6 days a week, so you can never come in the studio. So thanks for spending your lunch with us. But big picture, what is your message to the people that did this?
No, I have so many words that come out. It's just one word: evil. They're demonic. Period. That's all it is. They know what they were doing, and they were doing it for their purpose, not just financial. Some type of evil ritual they're doing.
Bingo.
That's how I see it. And another thing, Alex.
Stop. I'm going to interrupt you. I was about to say it's a satanic ritual, human sacrifice. And then you just said it because the spirits, it's the truth. It's about their power. And if they can get everybody to go along with this murder, they've corrupted the whole system and they win. So they did this by design. They didn't expect it. Start over. Repeat what you just said. Because it's literally, out of 1,000 answers, you just nailed it in my view. Ernest Ramirez, say that again.
Well, exactly. That's why I said it's an evil ritual. It's not just about money. You know, they're doing this. It was planned. I mean, we know the gates of hell have been opened. You know, it says in Revelations right there. The rapture's already been in process right now. God's taking his children up, and the rest of us are here to suffer. And the gates of, in the Bible it says, the gates of hell will be opened and demons will be released. They are released. They're in D.C. They're in control of our country. They have taken human form. Don't look for some monster, some demonic-looking animal, whatever. No, they are up there already. Like I said, they've taken human form. They are after our children. What's the first thing a demon will do? They want their your children. So, I mean, the instruction book's right there. All you have to do is read it. That's it. You know, you don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to Jessica. Read the instruction book, and don't just flip to the end. It's step by step. It tells you everything that we're going through. It is coming to happen right now. It's happening right now as we look at it.
Incredible. Ernest, how do people follow you on Twitter? How do they support you? Because quite frankly, I love the fact you work. I even try to get you on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm sorry, I'm working. Every time I talk to you, you're out there, you know, stringing telephone lines, which is great. You're a hardworking man. But I wish we could actually get you full-time doing this because you're so much more effective. But how do people support you? How do they get behind your message?
Well, you can visit my son's website, Junior's Guardian Voice, the jrsguardianvoice.com, and I also have a Give, Send, Go button there. I have an application. If you're vaccine injured or you're grieving, you can contact me there, please, or you can go to Life Funder to help me keep traveling because, you know, I'm an average person working paycheck to paycheck. You can go to Life Funder and look up Justice for Ernesto, and that helps me keep me on the road. And also, if you're vaccine injured, we had a couple people. I hold a Twitter space every Monday at 5 p.m. Central for my vaccine injured. If we had some new people come in, they said they were looking for information and stuff, and they found our space. Now they know that they're not alone. They have a community. They have a family, unfortunately, that we understand. We're here for each other. We're here to help you.
Well, that's right. They want to censor and isolate so we don't know that we're with others and we don't know we're strong. And that's why what you and Jessica are doing is so important. Ernest, thank you so much. You're going to give people, for radio listeners, the name of your Twitter account so people can follow it.
It's at RGV Runner 01. It's at RGV Runner 01.
All right, thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome to join the space every Monday at 5 o'clock.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, there goes Ernest Ramirez. In the 10 minutes we have left, Jessica, cover the waterfront, where you see this going. You haven't really talked about what happened to you. You said you get tremors. How fast did you get sick from the shot? Other key points you'd like to reveal to folks.
Yeah, you know, it was 3 days after I got the first Moderna shot, and I woke up with a muscle spasm in my back that just wouldn't leave. And I'm an athlete, I'm a professional dancer, so I did every therapy I possibly could, but nothing would take it out. So I ended up in the hospital, and they did all these CAT scans and blood work and all of these things, and they're like, "You're healthy, we don't see a problem," you know, and they're like, "Oh, she must be crazy," sort of thing. They didn't associate the first vax, so I got the second shot, right? And that's what did me in, and I developed a tremor. head twitches, leg twitches, involuntary arm twitches. I still get that a lot. And then all over body fatigue, joint pain. I couldn't dance again right now if I tried. I do have my ballet bar there. I pray that one day I'll be able to do that again. It's just, it's just a reminder that this evil is just running through my veins, and whatever I can do to stop this from happening to anyone else, I'm going to do it. And I know this is dangerous territory, but it's so wild to me to speak the truth is dangerous. How sad is that? How sad is that humanity has come to this? I mean, it's been like this for a long time. We've just been shielded by false information that is given to us in the television, right? Telling a vision. It's unbelievable. So if I can do anything to stop this, I'm going to. This whole thing has absolutely changed my perception of the world. It's changed my perception of Hollywood. I'm actually really grossed out by Hollywood. The fake, thing that just goes around here to fill their pockets. I know a lot of people made a lot of money from Big Pharma to promote this, to push this out, but I don't think they realize how severe the cases are and how many deaths have occurred by them just saying, oh, it's safe and effective. Those words, they lied. And I don't know how I could ever go back. And I don't know how I'll ever trust anyone ever again after this, I feel like I'm going to wake up from this nightmare, but every day I wake up in my body and it's in pain, and I don't know when my last will be here, so I live each day to the fullest. Being a mother has been the greatest gift in the whole world. And I'm just trying to stay strong for my son and my husband,
Well, I'm not a medical doctor, but obviously whether you get COVID from the bioweapon release or the shot, it's even worse. I have talked to a lot of top people, and with Rob Dude, looked like 20 years older. One of my, he's been here 14 years, good friend of mine. He got it, almost killed him. He got down to 90% oxygen for weeks. He almost died. Right. And he did not just inhalable steroids, he did inhalable glutathione, and he took 6-7 regimens of ivermectin. And let's not lie, folks, it can have liver effects, but that's better than dying. But he did that, and he looks like he did before he got it. He's finally back to regular oxygen, doing 30-mile bike rides again. And, because he used to be an athlete. He was a college, full scholarship basketball player. But he came back from it. And so my dad got long-haul COVID. He had to do 3 regimens of ivermectin and almost came back 100%. He still had some effects. I'd say he's 90% back. But also, I'm not selling our products. Anything that you find, like our nitric boost formula, there's a lot of blood cleaners out there. Ours is just, one of the best out there. But a nitric boost is known to clean the blood out. Have you gotten any advice from a Peter McCullough or anybody about things that, or Judy Mikovits, of things that could cleanse your blood?
Yes, I love Peter McCullough. He's such a great guy. Dr. Palmerica is one of my doctors. I'm on the protocol. We've done things to clean out my blood because I do have a blood clotting disorder, which is very terrifying, and a new vaccine autoimmune disease that they just don't know how to treat. It's very similar to MS. When I went to the conference of the frontline doctors a couple months ago in Texas, it was really terrifying to see where the spike protein enters your whole entire body. It crosses your blood-brain barrier, but it also goes into your skull and in your blood. So, it's causing distress and neurological distress to so many people. And I also want to say, I had just had my baby, so it was 3 months after, so I had baby weight. I lost that baby weight in 3 months. I lost 50 pounds like that. And it just shed off of me. And I've noticed that with a lot of people with vaccine injury, it's very similar. They lose weight very, very fast.
Yeah, that happened to my dad. It almost killed my dad. Just the unnatural virus they created. Wow. But pulling back, do you see what I see, or what do you see? Imagine if we accepted the power they'd have over us. People think, why would they kill us? Why would they do this? Well, because they want to do it and see if we'll accept them as the abusers. Now they're in full control of us. Now they can cull us when they want. The good news is, I think they failed. I wouldn't give us an A+ in defeating them. I'd give us a C-, but it's a C- is enough. If we leverage that, we can really stop their next operation.
Yeah, they hurt too many people, and they hurt the wrong people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the people that will speak out for humanity, that will not cower. Because I was told not to speak out. What about your career? What about you know what? Keep my career. I don't want to go back to Hollywood. They're weird.
By the way, let's start over. I meant to ask you this up front today and I forgot. Now you brought it up yourself. What do you think they're saying to Jamie Foxx to keep him quiet and others? Because I've talked to folks that have talked to Fox. He goes, no, it's the damn shot. He was mad. He told McCullough he was mad a year ago. He told him no. He finally succumbed. Then he took a booster, got even sicker. So tell us what was said to you by the whole rock and roll Hollywood combine.
Well, first of all, the Jamie Foxx thing, it breaks my heart so much because we need to break this into mainstream media so badly because the attention that it needs for these patients that have been adversely reacted, have an adverse reaction to the vaccine, it's so severe. People are not going to make it. I'm telling you, people are going to either take their life or they're going to just die suddenly. And when we heard that this happened to him, it was horrible, but we felt like we had an ally, and then it was fake news. But we all know the truth, and it breaks my heart. I don't know what happened with that. You know, that it's so sad. We needed Jamie, you know.
Well, it's like Delmar Hamlin, but talk about the pressure you went under. What did they say to you to shut up? And you didn't shut up.
Oh, I mean, I'm not, none of my agents are calling me anymore. You know, I don't talk to most of my bandmates at all anymore. We've kind of separated ways anyway, but yeah, no, it is career suicide. You're probably not going to be able to work again if you speak against this, because a lot of shows are brought to you by Big Pharma. I mean, look at the Grammys, brought to you by Pfizer. For me as a human being and as a mother, there's no way I could ever be a part of anything that's brought to you by Pfizer. Because I really believe that Pfizer has blood on their hands, and it's devastating. And until you look into the eyes of Ernest and you see the grieving, the grieving eyes that he'll never have a son, even if he's laughing, if I make a joke or something, you still see his eyes. You know, you still see he's just like empty. You know, and there's so many more people, and I just think that this is just horrible. And no,
I totally agree. His eyes touched me when I met you, and I had to walk off because I have children, and I see that intense loss and pain and that heart being torn out. And I've lost family and had bad things happen as well. Nothing at that level, but it triggers that, and then it triggers an anger of where I want to start getting violent, but the enemy set it up where they can spin that against us. But they've got to be punished, though.
They do, and the money that, because a lot of politicians also, there's proof that politicians made a lot of money. I think Joe Biden made about $7.1 million or something. That Kamala made $250,000. You know, of course they're going to say this is still safe and effective. They're still going to go with the narrative because they like what it's called money. They like that money. You know, they want to fill their pockets. They want to be, you know, rich, and for the sake of other people's lives, which is absolutely despicable. And I hope this administration leaves as soon as possible. I truly feel like this administration's evil.
Oh, they are, no kidding. And the 2.5 minutes we have left, leaving it all in the field, Jessica, what else do you want to impart to folks? Think about what it is you haven't said you want people to know.
I think we need to spread the awareness, and you have to start listening. If you have any doubts about vaccine injury, I think it's good. It's best for you to lean in and start looking at the information, jump down that rabbit hole of misinformation, which turns out to be real information, and really see the actual studies and the videos of people that are destroyed by this mRNA gene therapy shot, and show compassion. Be there to listen to their fears. Be there to help them with their groceries. I mean, humanity needs us so badly. And, you know, speak out about halting this horrible mRNA gene therapy shot. It's time to get it off the market. There's no need for it. It doesn't stop the transmission of the virus, and it doesn't stop you from getting it. It's a big old baloney nightmare lie. And everyone needs to wake up and speak out and start, you know, supporting the vax injured, and stop calling us conspiracy theorists. Because I'm getting to a point where if you don't have a tinfoil hat on, I don't trust you. So.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, Jessica Sutta, thank you for taking care of Ernest. He's a great guy. You can see the pain in his eyes. And you dodged a bullet, even though you personally didn't. Your son did. So thank God for, everything. Give us updates as things unfold. Next time you're back in Austin, please come in studio. And just thank you for everything you're doing.
Alex, thank you so much for having me on your show. You are so awesome. This is such an honor.
It's an honor to be here with you. Thank you so much. All right.